Being fully booked does not mean being profitable. In this episode, I want to talk about exactly this scenario, why it happens, what it looks like, and how you can find a way out of this trap. Because the impulse of most people is to work more, produce more, sign just one more client, launch one more product. But it doesn't solve the problem. It usually makes it worse. Do you know that feeling where you work 11, 12, 13 hours a day, sometimes even more, and still at the end of the month, you wonder where your time and money have all gone? And that's a very typical scenario. So, usually, what people first feel is, oh, I have to work more, I have to produce more, I have to sign just one more client. So, right? Yeah, that's a very, very common and very painful trap. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. But first and foremost, welcome back to Maria Unleashed, to another episode, to my outside studio, semi-outdoor studio. So some people seem to wonder, why in a barn? Well, because I want to. As simple as that. I really like it, and this is going to be my outside studio for the next few months. So one more thing I would like to add to that is most people seem to be confused of, hey, why do you talk finances in a barn? Why do you talk business in such and such location? And personally, I have to say, if you believe that that is any indication whether or not the person is knowledgeable, that's a trap too. Because trust me, it is so easy to fool you, to put on a mask and to sit here and, I could be house sitting in the most beautiful villa and pretend it's mine. But how is that going to help you when I'm just pretending to know my stuff, right? It doesn't. So, and this is literally why I want to make it easy for you, where everything, what happens here in the background, what I wear, it doesn't matter. I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it real, which is why you won't see me over, you know, put my mask on with all the makeup and stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. I like to keep it real. I like to be myself. I like my face how it is. And that's what I want to project out in the world. And also want to give it to you straight. I want you to know what you sign up for when you come here. So, there are plenty of people liking to fake it, and they love the blingity ding, and that's fine, but you are not going to find it here. And if you wonder, okay, Maria, but then if that is not a sign for knowledgeability, how do I know if people are actually, knowing what they're talking about? And what I can say is, listen to what they say. I know. In a world full of sound and noise, I'm asking you to listen. I know it's hard, which is again why I want to make it just more easy for you guys. So let's get right into it with today's episode. And again, it's the impulse most people have, me included. Yep, I was deep into the shit as well a few years ago, believing this, I have to work more, I have to do more, I have, blah. And then at the end of the month, it's like, okay, but now where's all the money gone? Or I must have built some because I worked so hard. And that's exactly the issue here. First of all, you are trading time for money, and that will cap you eventually because you only get 24 hours a day. So if you already maxed out on your working hours, and honestly, 11 hours can happen sometimes, but personally, and I've worked years and years on end on 15 hours average, don't do that to yourself because you're gonna lose it at some point, and you are most definitely going to lose your health over it, and it is not worth it. The other problem is that you cannot work more. Like, even if you stop sleeping, you have to sleep. It's a necessity. So let's say, okay, 15 hours you can actually work, you can put in, but in the end, you are going to pay with the quality because you are going to lose your quality. That's an experience that I made as well. And that's a very painful one because I signed up for it. I wanted to be the best supplier. I wanted to create the most amazing products for my clients. So, and then when I find myself working so hard and, mistakes happen. So what happened was, basically I spent half a day making these mistakes because I was so unfocused, so tired, so distracted, because I was like all over the place. I have to do this and that and that and that and that as well and that and that and that. Horrible. So, right, then I go to bed, wake up tomorrow, back to the office, and then I start all over again. So the first thing I realize is, oh gosh, I did so many mistakes. So I spend half of the day undoing the mistakes from yesterday. By that time, it's all finished and equalized. I'm so tired again that I should stop away from the scene. I should step away from it and just, stop working altogether, take a break. Well, I never did it. I continued. What happened? Again, unfocused. I was tired. And again, mistakes happen, or stuff that is just this little teeny tiny things, that end up just costing you so much time and effort. Well, I was like, oh my God, what is that? Right? And I was sold out all the time. So that's just an example from my business. It was a product-based business on Amazon. I was Amazon seller. I was very successful. I was ranked number 1 4 years in a row with one of my products, at least 4 years in a row. The others came later and followed as well. So I did a very good job. I didn't see it in the beginning. I was just like comparing myself to the big brands I used to work for before. And then obviously I'm not hitting their numbers. Of course not. How can I? I'm just one person and I had 5,000 euro. That's the money I had, right? And I made it work. Crazy. Now I appreciate it. Back in the time, I was just like, well, I do what I have to do to create my online business that hopefully allows me to now travel the world and just, I didn't want to be stuck in a situation. I didn't want to be present all the time. I like to work from wherever I want to. But what I also like is to have time to do the stuff, the things that I love, to spend time with my family, my friends, or just time with myself. And jokes on me, because the way I was running it, I was definitely running myself into the ground. And especially when you put in so many years of hard work and your love and your passion, and also your belief in your philosophy, right? It's a part of you. It's like your baby. It's your business baby. And then let's say 4 or 5 years in, and then from the outside, everything looks like success. Like, hey, I'm fully booked. I have waitlist, growing waitlists, everything. I was literally not able to produce anymore. As I said, it was just me. So I definitely hit that spot where I had to also admit, okay, no, no way I can do more, because I'm already giving it my all. So what now happened is you need to scale. That means I have to find other people who help me produce on the operational level, people for the customer service, so suddenly you have a team of maybe 10, but they need to be paid. So, and salaries are the most expensive position, at least in my experience they are. So, and suddenly I find myself in a situation where I'm like, do I want that? Because that adds a whole lot of responsibility onto my plate, and I don't need more of it, right? So, and that was my situation I really struggled with. And that's why I believe, no, I can do it alone. I can do it. And just, just one more product, just one more launch. But then in the end, I also undervalued my price. Oh my God, my product. We talk about that in one of the next episodes as well, because it's a huge lesson and you don't want to do all the mistakes I did. Trust me, you don't. I recalculated it with my value-based rate builder for my location independent blueprint mentoring program, and to show my clients real examples. I don't want to make stuff up that's just too unreal. I wanted to keep it just really based on a real human being experience. So I actually put in my old numbers from my online shop business. Oh my gosh, you don't want to know what it said. Again, I will reveal it in the next one. It was basically my dream home. Yeah, that was the money I left on the table. Well, anyway, for the next one. So there I was, busy from the outside, busy, fully booked always had, more people ask for me, when is that back in stock? Can you produce that again? When are you going to launch your new whatever product, right? It was insane. And still I was like, okay, but where's the money all gone? Like, and I cannot work more because, as I said, I was already maxed out. And I see it everywhere these days. So many people giving it their all. And still at the end, after paying tax, after paying all the costs and fees, you're like, that's it. Where has it all gone? So, especially the time factor is a huge one as well. And what really helped me was to, first of all, I didn't see it myself in the beginning because it became normal. It was normal for me to be this machine like being, doing what I have to do. So, again, it was normal. And when you are in the storm, you are not really seeing what's going on from the outside. Everything is a little bit blurry and everything, it's just, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. So, I had my friends, people very close to me, holding up the mirror and really showing me what was going on. And that was really tough to hear and to admit, but they were right. And I knew it. But because I love it, again, my business baby, I was like, but I want to make it work so much. And that's a problem because we all love it and we do it voluntarily, right? It's like, I can't believe I'm getting paid for the stuff I love doing. So, but this is exactly it. And that sometimes also adds a little bit of confusion to it, right? And that's where you tend to, oh yeah, I do it because you're going to do it anyway. Why not get paid for it? But then, or at least I always missed, oh, I should actually ask for way more. So anyway, what I realized is I need to be back in control of my time. I am putting in all the hours, but then in the end, it's capped. So this price time conversion, money time conversion doesn't really add up. So I need to be smarter with it. I have to use my time smarter. How can I make money without being physically present and still do what I want to do, right? So that is where I started doing online classes. I also did them live, but again, I came very fast to the conclusion that, okay, there's no way that I can take on 5 people in a room because I'm more the one-on-one type of girl. I really like to, sit down with one person, focus 100% on that person and, help to bring them way, way, way far ahead. And so basically, I realized, okay, I cannot do it. But again, if I do it with only 1 or 2 people, the price, will go up a lot, a lot, a lot. And I always try to keep it affordable because I do want to help people without the investors and they don't have a huge budget. Well, I did that again. In the next one, you will hear why I'm not going to do that again. But, for that moment, it was just like, okay, I can't do it. So I'm going to do a workshop where people can just, whenever they feel like it, can download it, can look at it. They can then book a session with me on top if they like. And then, we go really deep into the deep water, sort out what's going on. And that I liked. I liked creating these courses. I like to share the knowledge, my experience. I really love to also create all the materials for it. So that was a lot of fun. But in the beginning also, I had no idea what to do. It was the first time I did that. And I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So this trial and erroring, I love it. That's the way I learn personally. But it really showed me this is a great way to create a product that is always in stock, because it used to be a huge issue with my physical products because they were constantly sold out. But that's a problem. But I was maxed out. I couldn't produce anymore. And this product now, this virtual digital product, suddenly is always in stock. The good thing is I put in the effort once, and then I can basically just distribute this one product. And again, what I really liked is that I don't have to be present all the time. That's really, really nice. And I also have other friends and colleagues who are in the same situation where they are like, in my German episode, I compared it to a farmer. Because I also have a farmer friend who creates the most incredible products. I mean, he's really here to provide us with the most delicious and nourishing products for our body. So this is the fuel we put into our bodies, right? And yeah, the heart and soul that he pours into his products is unmatched. and he has the same issues. He is maxed out, like fully maxed out. He sacrifices so much because, again, you have to decide, do you spend time with your family? Do you spend time, do you do you time? Do you visit your daughter, your grandchildren, all of that? And you sacrifice that for your job, for your just sole mission. And in the end, you end up with very little money after deducting everything, the costs and the tax and all of that. And it's like, really? How is that? And he also tends to do more. Oh, I'm gonna do more, then I'm gonna plant more of this and I'm gonna sell more of that. But again, it needs your attention. It needs your time. You have to be there, and you also have to be at all the other fields simultaneously, which is impossible, which also leads to you need more people, but then people cost more money. So again, right? Different scenario, same situation. You are time capped, and that's the problem. So with him, I also brainstormed, okay, what could we do? And yeah, maybe, and that's what I'm saying, like, just sitting down with a good friend of yours, or maybe even a colleague, would be great, because people who are employed, they don't tend to understand the issue and the totality of it, because they are pretty much secure, or at least in Europe or in Germany, as in Germany very, very much, they can do whatever. They are unfireable. So it's hard to explain it to them on a level that they really understand that your life essentially is on the line, because this is what you do, what you have, what brings you money, what sustains your home. If that goes, everything else goes, because it is interconnected. And people who get money paid no matter what, right? They don't get that. And I don't blame them. But it's just hard to have a conversation with someone with that mindset who cannot imagine what it's like. And you don't want people who need to imagine stuff. You want people who know what's going on. That's the best. Like, you want someone who is maybe in a similar, or has been in a similar situation, and then, brainstorm with them. Or just have great friends who say, hey, listen, how can we help? This and that. We see you are struggling and you are literally like running yourself into the ground. Like, what can we do? Like, it helps. So, and with him, we also said, like, okay, what can we do? And then we just started like talking out of our asses. Like, okay, what can you do? You have all the land, you have you have little cabins everywhere. Why not utilize one and make a little lodge out of it, like a create a really nice fancy experience, like away from the hustle and bustle, but to really emerge in nature. So we don't do the whole Wi-Fi stuff and busyness. We do the campo scenario, right, where it's like, hey, come here to relax, no digital stuff allowed, right? So you just come and look at the beautiful countryside and just chill, calm down, calm your nerves. And then every day you get delivered with the most amazing food you can imagine. Everything is locally grown and picked just, half an hour before. So this type of stuff. Would that be possible? Can you spend a little bit of money to have a huge effect on the house? Like, can we tweak it with like a little effort, and then make it look, or make it livable? Would that be something? Do you like it? Or if you don't like that, do you want to renovate one cabin and rent it out to local people, because they are all looking? Then it's, if you are someone who wants to do business a certain way, and who has the heart in the right spot, maybe you don't want to cater to the tourists. Maybe you want to help locals out, your friends, and then you help each other. They are paying monthly rent, so that money comes in every month, and you don't have to be there. You let the house and property do the work for you. That could be nice. Maybe just an idea, right? And then it kind of frees your time. So you have that money safe, and then also it helps to ease your nerves. Like, you'd feel like, okay, now because I have the money, I don't have to work so hard anymore. Sometimes that's the first step, even though it makes no sense, right? It's like, but it helps, because when you are in that situation where you are really short of money and you have to make more money because half of it's gone immediately straight to the government, and then let's say on my platform Amazon takes half of it as well, so it's like, okay, what's left for me? 8%? Oh great. And now you can imagine, if you only make 8 or 10%, you need to make a lot, or you have to sell a lot of money, so the 8 or 10% are actually worth something. And when you already have paid the rent, when you already have the food, when you have all that, all the necessities are paid for already, it suddenly like eases your mind, and it's like, okay, you know what? Actually, what do I really need? Oh, not so much. And then you kind of calm down a little bit. You can collect your thoughts and you can make better, clearer decisions, in that moment, and not rush into the next crazy idea of yours, because it's based on fear and mostly fear, the fear of not making it the next month, or and it's horrible. It's a horrible feelings. I know it. Oh, I know it well. And I also know what it's like to get out of that hole. And trust me, you want to get out of there. Even though it feels normal to you right now, you want to get out of there. And back to what I said earlier, when people come and say, hey, but you've spent so much time now working on this business, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't stay just because you put in 5 years of your time. If you are realizing you are hitting nothing, there is nothing coming, you are just kind of digging in the wrong place, there is no sense, right? It makes no sense. So I've actually read a really good saying about that. I don't know who said it, but it went something like that. It's better to get out of the hole instead of waiting for the hole to become so big that it is becoming your grave. It went something like that. So I hope it makes sense. But when I read it, I was like, shit, that's right. That is right. Yep. So it definitely nailed it for me. And it's all true. Yes, so many people spend so many years of their lives, for one project, and then maybe it doesn't work out. But maybe this project's not supposed to work out. Maybe it's a not supposed to work out yet scenario. But I'm pretty sure you learned so much along the way that it's never wasted. But you should definitely get out before it becomes your grave. That would be the worst case scenario. And I want to say there is no shame in it, because it really is true. Like today, I'm actually glad that my online business did not work out, because if someone would hand it to me now, I wouldn't want to do it anymore. It was a great lesson, great experience. Like, this lesson was actually priceless. Yeah, it was tough, it was hard, but it was absolutely priceless. So I don't want to miss it. So even, all the pain, all the tears, all the hard work and the sweat and the blood I put into it, I wouldn't want to miss it for a thing. But I also wouldn't want to do it again, because it's just not what I am supposed to do. So now it's becoming clearer and clearer and clearer what I'm doing now and what I am creating with my new program, Location Independent Blueprint. That's exactly what I want to do. And it brings all together. So it's based on 6 different levels. And I used to do them separately. And now I'm combining them. And suddenly it's just like I had this click aha moment in Asia where we were traveling. And I was like, oh my God, how could I not see it? That's it. So yeah, and the more and more I do it and the more and more I'm talking about it, the more and more it's a hell yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. But I needed my prior business, Green Planet Cosmetics, which was an Amazon shop. I needed that to happen in order to get here, right? So there is no waste in, for me, there's a little bit wasted time where I'm like, oh, I could have just, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't. I realized it soon enough, and that's good. I got out. I was sad. I was very, very sad, and I cried a little, gotta say. Oh, I did. But in the end, it was for the better, and I'm glad, and it made me it made me a better business owner. And it also now helps me to understand what people are actually going through, because I know. And I know from not the fantasy world, not the make believe social media world, but what actually happens in the real world with the tools you have, right? And the money you have. Most people, they don't have €1 million to spend in the first year. Most people don't have investors, and still they want to make it work. And they're so brave, at least doing it or starting it. So many people are afraid of it, not doing anything. So be proud of yourself. I'm just saying, you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to know everything. I'm just saying you don't have to make every single mistake in the book. And that's exactly why I'm here and why I'm sharing it also here on YouTube is I want to talk about it. I want to talk about my mistakes. I want to talk about what actually helped me, what didn't help me. And I want to invite you into my space. Like, come and check it out. The free resources, if you like, or if you need someone one-on-one. I welcome you to explore my cross-border service, my mentoring program. It's in the final stages, so I really hope to start my first group at the end of the year. If you're interested, I will link everything below. Have a look. So excited for it. But yeah, until then, I'm going to share a whole lot more. And I just want to bring it to you and give you some examples and maybe just brainstorm a little bit with you, as I said with my farmer example, and we had hundreds of ideas what he could be doing, and some had nothing to do with the actual planting a field or delivering to more shops, because that again just created more irritation for him in the end, and also more time. It was more time consuming. So we also, if you wanted to know, we also had ideas of like, hey, why can we do restaurants? Can we just deliver to restaurants? Maybe like I know so many people, I can ask them like, or retreats or like I wanted to find a way where this product is really valued. And with the shops, they value it. They need the product in the shops. But the problem is the politic there is crazy. Like if the carrot or zucchini are just too big or too small, I have a little bit of, grown a little bit crazy, not this perfect Instagrammy carrot, but it has two carrots in one, the shop won't take it. This perfectly organic, amazing carrot. And I'm like, are you crazy now? So yeah, that is actually the reality. So we try to avoid this scenario and like, okay, how can we actually find someone who appreciates it for what it is? And that actually means going straight to the end customer, or maybe to restaurants that are extremely happy for this type of high quality product. And yes, it depends on what level you are cooking. So sometimes you do need these little baby perfect, painted cucumber or whatnot. Yeah, I get that. But for a soup, it doesn't matter, right? So that could be one. Or having boxes delivered to your door with everything that's fresh this week. So it's local, it's seasonal. And then I also said, like, why don't you do like juices with the fruit that falls down, right? It has a little thumping, a little mancha and what, or a little pick or what. But we actually have that in Germany. It's called, what's that called? It has a name. Oh, I forgot it now. Fallobst. Yes, like fallen fruit juice. That's the thing. And it's offered for a little less money, but it's still the very organic, very delicious fruits. But instead of just, placing them amongst the perfect apples, you basically take the apple, you squeeze it, and you make a beautiful juice from it. So I said you could also do that. And then, and you make it half-half. Like some is the products that you make, the juices, the hummus, the whatever, and then some is fresh product. Or I don't know, it could be anything. So we went out and crazy, and sometimes it's the crazy ideas that get you thinking again and just like, what? You have to get out of your comfort zone to really like see what's going on, to see the bigger picture, and to, yeah, just see there isn't just this hole you are digging, because at some point all you see is this nothingness. It's just the same, right? And you don't see the forest for the trees anymore. So if someone comes and takes you out and just kind of lifts your head a little bit and says, look, it helps. So what I am saying, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be any of this. Maybe it makes no sense in the end. I don't know. We haven't run the numbers or anything. It was really just, okay, like, what can we do? How can we help? But that's already like, okay, maybe a YouTube channel. Oh, you should write a book. But again, you need more time. So maybe let's do the cottage. Let's work, the cottage can work for the money. Then you have time to write a book and maybe start a YouTube channel, because this man has so much knowledge. It's insane. Like, I want to learn from you, or I am. And that's actually how I also learned Spanish. That's how I got to know him. So, yeah, it's just some people are meant to teach others and they're so good at it and it's so much fun. And I'm like, it's a shame if that would stop. Like, how can you maybe work with the government, or maybe, have school programs where they send your kids here, where they actually get to, experience this real experience, a real experience. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but right, it's just about this experience and feeling it for the first time. Like, so many kids have no idea where the food comes from. I don't know. I find that a great idea, actually. I would send my kid here, but I'm just saying, there are so many more options. And I just wanted to bring that a little bit closer to you, that you see, because it's often easier to see these examples in other people. It's very hard to see that for yourself. I also struggled with that. Again, I needed help from outside. And in the end, it was hard, but it was so worth it. So I always like to say it's a moment in pain for life and glory. That helps me to get over it, to overcome it, and to get up every morning, show up, and deliver really excellent quality. And I must say, that was like the most change that I felt. It was really the quality. When I started to take breaks, to take weekends, just normal stuff, right? But I don't know, it wasn't normal for me. I realized how much better I operate when I am well rested. And my clients also profit from it, obviously. And that is, again, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that was something I never thought would be possible. I always believed, oh, more, and only then it's good. No, it's not it. It does not mean work half, or work half the quality. No, that's not what it means. It means when you show up, be there 100%. But obviously, you cannot be 100% every day, 15 hours a day. That's just not possible. We are no robots. Not yet, at least. So, yeah, I wanted to say that. If you also believe, yeah, but then, because we were all brought up under the imagination that, oh, you have to work hard. And when you work hard, you get paid well. Well, that's just not what it is anymore, right? So, and that was really something I'm very glad I learned, because it feels so much better to do the work I love so much. I do it rested and with a clear head and focused. And yeah, so just for that lesson, it was really worth all the pain. So I'm just saying, if you can allow yourself a weekend off, a week off, even better, 2 weeks, even better. But I know it's hard, because I know if you're the only one working and you are not working, that's a freaking problem. And if you have this in the back of your head, there's no way that you can take a proper vacation. I know. But it does help. Maybe start with a nice weekend. No computer, no laptop, no phone allowed, just nature, just friends. Yeah, to get your head away from all the issues at work. And I know it's hard, but it does help. So if you can, try to get to that point, because it does really, really help. All right. So I hope that helps. I hope it gives you a little insight into, the work harder, work more, and how it doesn't end up well. There are jobs where maybe it might work that way, but I would say, even if you do it that way, take breaks in between. But if you do have this business of yours, where your heart lies in and you want to give it your all, you want to make sure that you don't lose your health over it, because that in the end is not being successful. It's not what it means. No, if you are successful and you have all the money in the world, but then you lost your health over it, that is you haven't gained anything really. So it's important to keep a balance and to take care of yourself, because when you go down, your business goes down with you, right? You are one. So take good care of you the same way you take good care of your business. All right. I will see you in the next one. It's going to be a very spicy one. where I talk about the money that I lost and I left on the freaking table. Yep. Okay, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for staying. And if you like it, consider following my journey. I would love to see you around. If you have a question, as always, let me know. Send me an email at info@ethossunconsulting.com. So it's basically ethos like the morality, sun like the sun, and consulting. So easy to remember, I hope. All right. I will also put down all my social media content, because over there I share, just again, everything that's lifestyle business related, cross border, especially if you also like to travel while working, or the very helpful stuff nobody teaches you in school. So yeah, let me know. So send me a DM or just leave a comment if you have a specific question. Bye. I will see you in the next one.